we've been talking about Michigan, but mostly Michigan off the field. And even though J.J. McCarthy's a Heisman candidate, but this really has to do with the sign stealing scandal. And we talked about Connor Stallions resigned or maybe was fired or whatever it is, but he fell on the sword. So does this all go away with Michigan? Everything's good now?
I don't think so, Dan. I mean, you and I have been around this for a long time, and this is how it always goes, right? Now, whether they knew at the upper reaches of the football building that Connor Stallions was doing this, everybody's going to have their own judgment and have conjecture about whether that's true. But this always happens. Whenever you get caught something, there's always some low-level assistant raises his hand. I was acting alone. Nobody knew. We've seen it in basketball. We've seen it in football. I don't think this makes this go away in the least. The real question is, does the Big Ten, implement something in their sportsmanship policy, make Jim sit out for a while? How long is the right amount of time? Who knows? And then beyond that, I think this is something that stays with Michigan the rest of the year.
It feels like what doesn't benefit the Big Ten or Michigan to have him punished this season.
Right.
And hey, Jim, take the month of September off again next year.
That is, Dan, that's the thing. Very few people or institutions particularly act against their own best interest. And punishing Harbaugh does act against the Big Ten's interest. What I have found interesting about this is that the other coaches and ADs have apparently in these meetings have been so adamant about Michigan being punished. The reason that surprises me is that typically coaches may be so angry about something, but they're not doing that because, well, they might not be stealing signs. There's something they don't want you poking around in their business about. And you're inviting people to come scrutinize you when you become that adamant about punishing someone else. So I've been surprised by that. And that's the only reason I think the Big Ten would act now, because otherwise you're 100% right. It's not in the Big Ten's interest to try to punish a team that might well win the national championship.